Now that is a way to start off a playoff series for the Toronto freaking Maple Leafs, baby. 6-2 winners today over the Ottawa Senators at Scotiabank Arena to take 1-0 series lead. Now, is the series over now? Are the Leafs going to win in 4? No. Relax, okay? Let's all relax. Take a breath a little bit. But the Leafs did just make a statement. Does it mean anything past game 2? Probably not. But what it did for me as a Leaf fan, it shows me that these guys can do it. Going into the game today, right? What was the talk? Well, the Ottawa Senators, they're the young and dumb team, right? The team who's just got there for the first time, playing with house money. The Leafs are the cursed team. Look, are we uncursed already of winning game 1? No, obviously not. But the fellas went out there today and made a statement like, we don't care about these demons. We don't care about any of this. We're going to go out there, play our game, and do a thing. And that's what I love what Craig Berube's message was by putting the lines out there the way they've played recently. They've been playing awesome hockey recently. So we put those guys right back out there, and they won a hockey game in game 1 of the playoffs. Great, great stuff. Hey, Sen fans, if you're here, wait till the end of the video. I'll start talking about the officials if you really want me to. But I don't give a rat's ass about them right now because they weren't the deciding factor in the game. The Leafs outplayed the Sens. People say, well, shots on goal. We'll get to that in a second. Here we go. First period. Leafs get the puck in the defensive zone. Get out of the zone. Järnkrok feeds it off to Scott Laughton just inside the offensive blue line. And all the Sens kind of back off. And it was a great job by Järnkrok. And there might have been one other guy who kind of backs off the defense. And OEL is able to walk right down Broadway, right into the slot with the pass from Scott Laughton. And he beats Linus Ullmark, and Scotiabank Arena is buzzing. The guy who was a game-time decision going into play today gets the first goal of the playoffs for the Buds, and it's a defenseman, and the Leafs lead at 1-0. OEL at 7:09 from Järnkrok and Laughton. We're feeling great. 5 minutes later, I can't remember which Sens player tries to fire it up the sideboards. It's knocked down by Austin Matthews with his hand. Then he passes it up the ice. Mitch Marner, if you watch the replay, and they said it on the broadcast in the first intermission, he's at the blue line, and he sees the puck go down there, so he starts to float. But he's not far enough that if it turns around, he's able to be right there defensively. And then right as Matthews picks the puck up, he takes off, and a beautiful feed from Austin Matthews to get Mitch Marner in stride on a breakaway, and he backs Linus Ullmark right onto his goal line and roofs this thing. Mitchie Marner, oh baby! Leafs lead at 2-0. Marner from Matthews at 12-18, and the Leafs lead at 2-0. Awesome stuff. 4 minutes after that, though, this is the thing that pissed me off at the moment. Kind of a nothing play. Puck gets fired in the net. Stolarz looks like he's trying to freeze it, but kind of did it slowly. And Drake Batherson, good hard work in front, knocks the loose puck, beats him, and it's a 2-1 hockey game after 20 minutes of play. Echoes it, like I said, 16-18 of the first period. Shots on goal were 13-5 in favor of the Sens in the period. But if you look at the way the shots were, and I've seen the shot charts for each team in that period. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Because yes, 13-5 in shots for the Sens. You're like, wow, they dominated. Look where the shots were. All on the perimeter. The 5 Leaf shots, maybe 1 was not. But at least 4 of them, right in the slot, right in front of the net, dangerous opportunities, and they capitalized on 2 of them. That's what the Leafs want to do. They're not going to be this team that's going to pull a Carolina Hurricanes today against the Devils and outshoot them by a bazillion. It's not going to happen. They're going to keep the pucks to the outside defensively. They're going to capitalize on mistakes. And they did that in the first period, and the Sens paid for it. So awesome stuff for the Leafs in the first period. You go into the second, and you want to try and throw a punch. Not literally. But it comes out, and Brady Tkachuk's got a breakaway not very long in. Stolarz makes a big save, and I think that save right there settled Stolarz into the game. Obviously, his first playoff start, right? Has that tough one. You see him looking to the sky afterwards like, God, I got to freeze that puck. And we all knew it. Even he knew it. Comes out in the second period, a big opportunity. That could have tied the game with the Chucks on the breakaway, but he doesn't allow it to go in. Big save. And then the penalties start to happen. They take one. Again, Sens fans, we'll get into the damn penalties later for you. Leafs win the offensive zone faceoff. And that right there is the key to every Leafs freaking power play. They are horrendous with their entries. So when you get a power play and you get that offensive zone face-off to start, you better freaking win it. Because it paid dividends multiple times today. They win the offensive zone face-off. Puck gets back to the point. Mitch Marner to Willie Nylander, who fires it on low, and John Tavares is all alone. Not sure how, but he redirects it. It's a good stop by Ullmark initially. The puck's around right in front of him. Tavares bangs in the rebound. Again, he's able to do so, I guess. 4:07 into the game, or into the second period. I believe like 9 seconds into the power play. It didn't take very long. Marner, Nylander with assists in the goal, and the Leafs have regained their 2-goal leads to 3-1 advantage, and we're feeling, okay, a little bit of a breath there for Leaf fans. 3 minutes later, things start to happen. Ridley Gregg, we'll get into him in a minute, but he takes a penalty. Not long after that, who was it that took that one? The two-man advantage one. Was it Bathurst? No, not Bathurst. Was it Batherson? No, Gaudette, excuse me. He takes a penalty. Leafs get a two-man advantage for about 45 seconds to a minute. They didn't need it. Win the face-off. And Tavares to Nylander, who curls in front. And you know what? I felt bad for Linus Ullmark in this very moment. Because think about it. You've got Willie Nylander, who going into the game today has 45 goals. He's like second or third in the league in goals this year. He's right in the slot with no screen, just ready to fire. Who's to his... hold on. If Nylander's looking at the net, who's to his right by like a few feet, tickling the rafters? Oh, it's just, Austin Matthews. So you're screwed either way. Willie decides to rip it. He buries it past Ullmark. And the Leafs still had a power play, but obviously entries were an issue. They didn't score on that one. That goes at 7:19. John Tavares with the lone assist, and the Leafs now have a 4-1 lead. We're feeling good. Outshoot them 13-8 in the period. You go into the third, up 4-1, find a way. And it was weird. I was kind of getting lazy and tired in the intermission, right? And then I'm like, all right, got to get up for the third period. And I'm like, hopefully they don't come out of the gates like I just did, because that was bad. And they kind of did. Ridley Gregg scores one and makes it a 4-2 game, and I'm like, there's still 16 minutes to play. There's a lot of hockey to go. But 45 seconds after that goal, Leafs enter the offensive zone. Robertson, instead of trying to fire it around the net or take a useless shot, spins back at about the half boards, gives it back to Morgan Riley at the point, floats it on. It was tipped in by, I think it was Highmore, I believe, on the Sens. It was a high tip. Fitting. And Ullmark doesn't make the save because it was a quick adjustment. It was a high tip, though. You kind of maybe want him to make a save like that. But regardless, he looked surprised on the kind of the movements he was making. And it beats him. Morgan Riley, playoff Mo, he back. And the Leafs answer back, and we can all breathe at that point. It goes 5-2. McMahon and Robertson with assists in the goal. We're feeling good. They take a late penalty. Matthew Knies, a shift before, blocking a puck with his hand, and he goes to the bench not feeling good. And I'm like, there's a lot of bones in hands. That's not good. But he comes out for the next shift on the power play. And Mitch Marner fires it on. It's stopped, and the rebound comes to the side of the net. Matthews kind of swipes it towards the front of the net. And Knies finishes it off. That ends up on his rear. Good stuff from the 22-year-old stud. 13-13 into the third period, and that was curtains at that point. Shots were 12-6 Ottawa in the third period. Who the hell cares? In the back of the net that counts. 33-24 for the game in favor of the Sens. Face-off dot. Leafs won 56% of the draws, 32-25. Special teams dominant. 3 for 6 in the power play. They were 0 for 2. And sure, they outhit us 56-30. But now let's get into the things that Sens fans have been bitching and complaining about all night long. Now, is there some validity to some of them? Yes. And I will get into that now. But is there also stuff that they're just complaining about just to complain about stuff and not make it about how the Sens didn't play a phenomenal game? All right, so first penalty taken was Tim Stützle in the second period. All right, so that was 4 minutes in, and it was against Chris Tanev in the corner. He hit him from behind, right? He did do so, and away from the boards. But size-wise, I'm like, Stützle's smaller than Tanev, but fine. It was a little bit softer. Could I have gone as a pure hockey fan? Could I have gone without that being called? Yeah, probably, but I understand it. And again, Tim Stützle is not a guy that throws hits around. I know it's playoff hockey, and you want to see physicality. You want to see guys turn to playoff form. He had 9 hits. That's awesome. Guess what, though? He had 3 shots on goal. He's a -1. What's he good at, though? He's good at setting up guys, having points, doing all that stuff. Maybe you should try and go to your strength instead of trying to just play the playoff hockey style. Because you've never done it before. So go try and do what makes you best. He doesn't, takes a penalty, regardless if you agree with it or not. And the Leafs 2 score on that power play. Then Ridley Gregg cross-checks John Tavares in the face. They give him a 5 initially. They go to review it because that's the rule now. You give him a 5 and it's like, okay, let's check it out in the review. They review it and they call it a 2. And I'm like, oh, really? Stick, 2 hands, up in the face, right in the jibs. Interesting stuff. I was very shocked that they did not call that a 5. But they call it a 2 and I'm like, okay, whatever. And then Adam Gaudette. Austin Matthews has the puck going around the back. Well, I wouldn't say going around the back of the net, more or less the side of the net, going back to the point or going out of the zone. And Gaudette, 1 end of the stick, 2 on the stick, right into the numbers. Whether it was a hard cross-check or not, that is textbook. But anyways, they give him the call. He's all pissy. He tries to draw Matthews into a penalty. Matthews is laughing at him like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not doing that. Okay, off I go. We got a 5-on-3. We know how Willie Nylander scored on it. Was it a hard cross-check? No. But you're hitting a dude from behind in stride. When you're in stride like that, you go down easier because you're not focused on a hit like that from behind. So I understand why Gaudette would be pissed. I get it. But it is a penalty. I'm sorry. It just is. And guess what, Sens fans? That's what playoff hockey is. That's what round 1 is. Let me clarify that. We've been around round 1s enough to see what the hell goes on. And these penalties, they get called. In the later rounds, do they? Maybe not as much. But in round 1, they do it. They are hard on teams. And Leafs knew that. Guess why? They weren't doing it today. Now, did they miss a couple of Leaf penalties? Yeah, they did. I think it was a Nylander high stick. I think they missed one. But there was other penalties they missed. Are we going to nitpick that? That's not the reason you lost the freaking game. Okay? Now, Nylander takes a hooking penalty. Yeah, it was a right penalty. Got a stick right in the guy's chest. Held it there for a bit. It's a hook. Done. Then Drake Batherson takes a tripping penalty late in the second period. There is no need for that penalty for Drake Batherson. Absolutely no reason. Puck's going to the corner. You kind of hold on to him and drag him down. Like, it's just, there's no point in that penalty. It happens. Leafs don't score on it. Then we go to the third period. And Drake Batherson gets a cross-checking penalty. This is the thing I find hilarious. What is the, I would say unwritten rule about hockey, but if you're a coach and you see your team take penalties in the offensive zone, so you're trying to score and you're in the offensive zone and you take a penalty, it makes you freaking pull your hair out because that's the last thing you want to do right there. 3 Ottawa Senators penalties today were in the offensive zone. And my God, Drake Batherson cross-checks OEL up near, I wouldn't say it wasn't the head, but it was more like the upper back. You're in the offensive zone, you have the puck, what are you doing? You already had body position on him. So he takes his cross-checking penalty. That's where Matthew Knies scored the last goal. So, were they egregious penalties? No. But they are penalties. I'm sorry, but they just are. The first one, I can get behind people with that. It's a little bit. The other ones, I mean, what are you going to complain about? And the fact that freaking Greg didn't get a 5, that is baffling to me. Cross-check in the face. Regardless, that's it. I'm not talking penalties anymore. I'm not appeasing people. I just wanted to get that out there because that's all I've been seeing on social media. It was penalties this, penalties that, referees this, referees that. How about the Leafs just won 6-2 at a playoff game, huh? Anyways, Anthony Stolarz, 2 goals, 33 shots today. And other than that one stinker, he was awesome. Made some big-time saves in big moments, and that's what the playoffs are all about. Your goaltenders can bail you out. You can have the better goaltender in the series. Why did the Leafs come back from against Boston in games 5 and 6? Joseph Woll won games for them. The power play, the special teams won the game for the Leafs today. Stolarz, he helped a lot. Mitch Marner, goal and 2 assists. Playoff Mitch. Those guys are gone. 1 goal, 2 assists, and a +1 for him. Willie Nylander with a goal and an assist. John Tavares with a goal and an assist. Knies, Riley, OEL all had goals. Austin Matthews, 2 assists and a +1. Robertson, McMahon, Lawton, Yarncrook all had assists in this one. And I'm going to say this to end it off. I mentioned in the preview video, Linus Ullmark, playoff numbers, no good. Do I think that he was the sole reason they lost this game? Absolutely not. The amount of grade A chances the Leafs scored on today? Yeah, it's a lot. But, regardless of way you look at it, you want your goaltender to mix in a save, and 6 goals and 24 shots is pretty bad. On to game 2. for the Toronto Maple Leafs and Ottawa Senators in the Battle of Ontario. 7:30 puck drop there on Tuesday as the Leafs look to find a way to take both games at home, which would be massive going back to Ottawa. But it's going to be tough. Again, they're going to it's one game at a time. You build momentum. I don't even think it really exists in hockey, but we'll see. But the Leafs need to come out in game 2 exactly with the same mindset and intensity they did in this one, and they will come away with another victory. It would be awesome. All right, so you know what, guys? That's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and the dub today, hit that like button. Do appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not done so already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game? For the Toronto Maple Leafs, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and of course TikTok is down below. So follow up there if you haven't done so already. I will talk to you guys Jays Edition tomorrow, 8:10 first pitch in Houston against the Astros. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Tuesday night, 7:30 puck drop at Scotiabank Arena for Game 2 of the Battle of Ontario. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the game today. Talk to you guys then.